Hello, this is John Chu, and today I found a leather elephant from my mom's place. This is probably, I would say, 30-40 years at least. Okay, so I want to take a photo, or I want to have a photo session in my open window Hummingbird studio. Here's the window. And I'm gonna set it up, and we're gonna, hopefully the hummingbird stops by and we have a session. So I use these hand feeder basically, and all I do is I put a little liquor glass inside this elephant's belly, and boom, all of a sudden this is perfect. Okay, so it sticks out a little bit, the hummingbird can see it, and so it will go into it. Okay, and again, the hummingbird's name is Chaser. It chases all the other hummingbirds away, and it's very, very familiar with the window. So anything I put out, it tend to, look for it. Okay. So just by shooting this, it's kind of boring. So I, again, went to the front yard and picked some vegetation and kind of like had a little backdrop. Okay. And how this has come out, I will show in the following video. This is my setup. Okay, it's about 6:30 in the evening. Outside is still pretty bright, but in the house it's kind of dark. So this is how it looks from the inside of the house. But my camera is set up so that I would take a photo. And I'm using flash, so I'm actually making the ambient extremely dark because I really want to showcase my setup rather than the sky, I guess. So now the waiting begins. I really, which I really enjoy, but I'm gonna keep waiting, and hopefully Chaser comes back soon and we can have a little session. Okay, Chaser's here. This is an unfamiliar object, so it will circle around it quite a few times. Okay, use a lot of caution. A lot of caution. So I think I got the framing. I got a shot that I want. So that's how my camera is set up. So once I got the shot that I want, I tend to just kind of shooting more freely. Okay, just try to get the movements of Chaser, around the subject, and later on I'll do other crops. Isn't this marvelous? It's one window that I open. See, my camera is hunking now. So it's really just one window that I open using some reasonable gear. And I got some photos. Okay. I got the photos into Lightroom. This is kind of the the setup I want. Okay, I want to have a shot like this where the hummingbird is basically inside of this little space. Okay, and you know what? I did get what I want. Okay, so it's basically the setup. Hummingbird comes in, finds the single feeder, and it was right there. Okay. The lighting is good. I haven't post-processed this at all, but I can brighten. Post-processing will brighten the hummingbird even more, so it'll be even more visible. So I actually have 4 shots, okay, that I kind of like the composition for sure. Especially this one. I really like this one because it's almost like the elephant nose kind of point, I mean, has the same curve as the hummingbird's wings. Isn't that cool? However, my autofocus focus entirely on the plants behind the hummingbird. So the hummingbird itself is not sharp at all. So this photo, even though I have the composition, I do not have the sharpness and the clarity. That to me is important, because this obviously is a mistake, right? I cannot present this photo. So that's cool, right? So I took 4 shots, and these 4 shots are not clear, okay? And what I noticed is on my camera and lens setup, if the format is portrait like this one, right? It's a 4x6, but so it's a in portrait, right? The autofocus just doesn't seem to be as good as when it's in landscape. Let me show you what I mean. Okay. So after I took 4 photos of this portrait mode, which is what I really want, okay, I switched to landscape mode. Okay. So the photo now looks different, right? But look at the sharpness of the hummingbird, okay? And you know, the background leaves are blurred a little bit, which is exactly what I want, right? If you look at the background, right, it's completely dark, right? And honestly, that's the effect that I really want, okay? Because then everything pops up, you know, my subject really shows up. If you look at the hummingbird, it's really sharp, okay? I haven't applied anything to it. Let me do something about it, and so you can see the difference. Okay. So normally what I do is I go in here, I turn sharpness to about 40. Okay. I used to do a lot, you know, but I find that too sharp. It's too sharp. Okay. I like a little bit of fuzziness. And then I come here and I play with the curve. Okay, for example, so let me do this. So I play with the curve a little bit. Okay, so you see that hummingbird brighten up. Right. Then I actually come over here and make the dark or the blacks blacker, and make the white a little bit whiter. Okay. And at this point, I don't like the exposure, so I turn the exposure down a little bit. Okay. And that's basically that. Okay, I turn the highlights off. You see this flower right here, the kind of a light purple flower here. You know, if I don't turn the highlights down, it's too bright. Okay, anything that's really bright, it's gonna capture, it's gonna direct the eyes towards it. So with that highlight turned down, I can actually get exposure back a little bit. Okay. And if I'm really ambitious, right? Let's say if I want to print this photo, for example, I may go into Lightroom's mask mode and basically make this a little bit darker and make the hummingbird even brighter. Okay, so that's kind of one of the photos. So then what I can do is to do a Control-C, capture the changes I made to this one photo, and come down here, select basically all the photos for this specific lighting setup, and do a Control-Shift V, so it will paste edit setting to all the 17 photos that I selected. Okay, and you can see, for example, let's say this photo. Okay, it's really sharp. See, now it's really, I mean, all the colors are popping up. Okay, really nice. So if we see the before and after, so this is after the post-processing, this is before. Okay, honestly, it's really close. Okay, so it's, to me, it's very important that I get it, you know, somewhat correct in the camera. Okay, and then do a little bit fine tuning, so you know, we balance the photos afterwards. So for this shot, what I will do is I will crop it. Okay, and the cropping will probably be something like this. Okay, so let's say if I want to post this to Instagram, then I would do 1:1, 1:1 ratio. Okay. And this is probably how I will crop. So this is a 1:1 photo, and to me it's pretty nice, right? Yeah. So then I have other photos to go through. So so that's another one. Let's say we do another 1:1 cropping. Okay. So these are the shots, you know, like all these are tech sharp. Okay, very, very sharp. This 300mm lens with the Nikon D10 in landscape mode, man, the focusing is really, really good, really spot on most of the time. Yeah. So again, I'll do a 1:1 cropping. So again, 1:1. Okay. So let me go off and do some more work, and then I'll display the photos in this session consecutively. Thank you so much.